Good morning, Franz. How you doing? Oh, forgot to turn off my big speaker again. Shutdown noise. And I brought Tesla downstairs now. She stayed in the window for a little while. Good morning, Daph. Good morning, Fantasy. Good morning, Cora. And to the lurkers, if there are any. What are we doing today? I have no idea. I woke up and I was very eepy. I set up stream and then went downstairs with my cat and my mug to bring the cat to the window and say good morning to my parents. He actually stayed there for a few minutes. And then he wandered around a little bit on the main floor, well, the secondary main floor, because it's a split level. While I made tea. And, yeah, he actually stayed downstairs, and he didn't go upstairs until I started going upstairs. So, yeah, he's just wandering around my room somewhere now. But, he no longer hisses at my mom, because he did that once. He hissed at Cheese, too. He did that once as well. I don't think he's hissed at my dad. My dad's probably too scary. I don't blame him. But now I have tea. I will get to your hydrate death as soon as I am capable of doing so, because the tea is very hot. So how's everybody this morning? So I was just looking at the desk and thinking, doing some brain and oh, my monitor's turning off again. What is this? This cable is supposed to be up here like this. That would be why. It was sliding out of its little containment. Let's look at the bed. I have so many layers. Helps if I name my layers. What is this? Alright. Now I gotta figure out which layer the pink thing is on. Unless it's in here? Nope. Okay. I'm just trying to clean up this file a little bit. As my brain wakes up. Death is good today. Fantasy and Cora have gone quiet. I've slowly been transferring some paper notes that I have into Obsidian so that I can get rid of the paper notes. I might do that for some of my old school notes, actually. I have a bunch of school notes written on paper and in books. Because when I'm in school, I will write notes on paper, and I find I learn more that way. That's also actually a thing. If you're in school and you're using a computer to take all your notes, don't do that. Handwrite them. And then when you get home, clean up your notes. Because then that refreshes the learning. We don't teach children good study habits. I was never taught good study habits. Of course, any study habits that I was taught were completely lost to the undiagnosed ADHD. Apparently it's very common now that women my age are getting diagnosed with ADHD. Because we've just been living life on hard mode. Back when they started diagnosing ADHD, they didn't apply it to girls, and girls masked better, so they thought at first it was just a thing that boys got. But we have better masking mechanisms to seem normal. Women just cope better, I think, with difficulty and stress. As much as I don't really particularly feel female at any given time, so we'll ignore the gender part of femininity and just go from the biological standpoint. I think women are just better at coping with stress than men. Well, here's the thing, Fantasy. When you're an adult, you really have to advocate for yourself. And yet, sometimes you have to be pushy. So, I know you can do it. You need to go to your doctor and be like, I need this test. Because I'm pretty sure this is my problem, and I need help with this problem. Good morning, Ross. So you really need to learn how to speak up for yourself with a level of insistence that the doctor's not going to be able to ignore. You see, the thing with family doctors is a lot of the times they're general physicians, right? Not only are they seeing probably hundreds of patients, but they're also overworked. In Canada, they're a little bit underpaid. I know in Norway, they're probably paid very well. Because, Norway's smart and pays their doctors. In America, they're overpaid. And, they're not specialists. That's the thing. What you need, Fantasy, is you need to see a psychiatrist who specializes in anxiety and depression. in order to get a proper diagnosis. Because I can tell you from knowing you the short time that I have known you, which is about 2.5 years now, that you definitely have one or both of those things, if not some other underlying condition that's triggering those things. And the only way for you to become a functional member of society is to get the help that you need. And I understand this, so you really need to talk to your doctor and say, hey, I need to see this specialist. I don't care how long the wait list is, because that's the thing. I need to get help for this problem, and the GP, the general practitioner, is not a specialist in this case, but it's part of the GP's duty to make sure I get to see these specialists that I need to see. So I'm cheering for you, Fantasy. I'm encouraging you. But you have to do it for you. And I know you can. I know it's hard because sometimes you have to make phone calls, and phone calls are terrifying. Well, I'll tell you, once you're taking the medication that you need to be taking, that fixes the chemical imbalances in your brain that make it go all whoopy, it really helps a lot. The best thing I ever did for myself, and it took someone saying these same things to me this directly and this honestly to do this for myself. The best thing I ever did was go to my doctor and be like, hey, I need this. I need help with this. And I feel like I'm not getting the help that I need from anyone. And it's starting to wear me thin. And I am no longer strong enough to continue holding it together. I had to be brutally honest, even if it meant being a little bit straightforward. Not quite rude, but straightforward. And say, this is what I need. I need you to get me this appointment. Or help me sort out the options for a medication that we can try that might help with this. And, you know, you have to point out to them, I don't want to take medication, but if I must take a medication in order to make myself a functional member of society, then I will do so. I don't like taking these pills. If I didn't have to, I wouldn't. But the antidepressant I 100,000% need, because there is something chemically wrong in my brain that says, you're a sad bean and you don't want to exist. And sometimes that voice gets a little strong and it's crushing. It is absolutely crushing. But I've fought it and won so many times that I'm like, I can keep fighting it and winning. I just need a little bit of help. And the medication does that. It helps. It's like a buff stat. It's like getting a buff from your cleric. I just have a daily buff that I get. And that's what my medication is. I can finally take a sip of my tea. Thank you for the hydrate, Death. I appreciate it. One of my Japanese tea mugs has become my little trash bowl on my desk again. I can't wait until I've got all of my furniture in order. But yes, good morning, Ross. How are you doing? Sorry, I was in the middle of an advocating speech. When you came in, I hope you're having a better day today. I want you to make sure that you at least have a moment of a good day. Because I know your life is stressful. That goes for every last one of you. Okay? Have a good day, or else. Tastes kind of better, maybe? No, maybe. You missed the part where I told everyone that I brought Tesla downstairs when I went to go make my tea. And he stayed in the window because there were 4 cardinals, 2 blue jays, and 2 squirrels in the backyard. And he was like, oh, there's stuff here. And the sun was coming in a little bit through the tree between the houses on the other side of the crescent. And it's like, it was bliss, I think, for a little while for him until he noticed that there were other people in the room. Still need to make a phone call or two regarding housing before I mail things out so everything is on the level. So I'm going to put my therapist. Oh, you got... You just need to switch the A and the R. It took me a second. I was like, that word looks right. I do have a little bit of dyslexia. And I was staring at him like, no, those are the correct letters. Why are they not in the right order? Which order is the right order? Yeah, you got it right. So, trying to figure out what to say, even though it should be kind of obvious. I'm getting just like kind of a mood. Well, it's the therapist's job to interpret what you're saying. But, you know, try to be clear and as honest as possible. Don't hide anything from them. They will keep your secrets. At least they should. Unless it's unlawful. In which case, depending on the state you're in, they're required by law to share certain things. That the code. Yep. Tesla, are you clawing the carpet again? Hey, baby. Oh, my hand is nice and warm. So I have it wrapped around the tea mug. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to be honest with the therapist. I wish I could see a therapist. The Ontario Conservative government keeps cutting things to our medical stuff, and they keep cutting fundings to doctors, and they're too busy doing things that they shouldn't do, as Conservatives usually do. Getting rid of things that they deem wasteful. They're like, well, I can afford a therapist, I can afford to go to a private psychologist, why can't you? It's like, because I'm fucking poor, because you have all the money, asshole. Also, sometimes just being mad really helps. Well, yes, I agree. There's conservatism like you see in the Republican Party, and then there's like fiscal conservatism. The problem is the fiscal conservatism tends to disregard immediate cost versus long-term savings. That's the problem. Like, you know, the way Norway has so many social programs to... Yeah, also with the Republicans who say things like snowflake and stuff, every accusation is a confession. They're actually the biggest snowflakes on the planet. They get so offended by everything. So, they're the snowflakes. Every accusation is a confession. With the Republicans, that's just the way it is. But like in Norway, they have all these social programs to help the homeless, and they have a low homelessness rate. And their population is happy and healthy and wealthy, and it's almost like social programs that help everybody make your country stronger and more valuable. It's almost like it actually works, historically speaking. Dealing out with one exception, every extremist group. Your team's hard right wing. Yeah, that's because you have to have a certain level of conservatism to be in a cult. And usually that means you're malleable intellectually and emotionally because you lack both intelligence and emotional intelligence. If you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes, you actually are lacking in intelligence. All of these like extreme right-wing dudes who think they're the smartest people on the planet, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect. They're stupid. They lack emotional intelligence. They might have some intellectual intelligence on like an analytical level, like people like Elon Musk, who is quite happy to give himself the Asperger's label, even though we don't use that anymore. But we don't use it anymore because that scientist was a Nazi. So we're trying to erase his name from history because he was evil. So we don't attribute his name to things anymore. Only a wise person thinks themselves a fool. At least they try to learn how to be better. Yeah. I never accept that I am, like, a good artist. Like, I have skill, and I use that skill, but my skill can always be better. There's always somebody better out there. There's always something more to learn. I have this particular thirst for knowledge and a natural curiosity that my parents instilled in me when I was quite young. And while I'm not doing the best at life, I think it's because I lived life on hard mode. And I only recently found out, but like, I started taking my ADHD medication, and then I started streaming again, and then I started streaming regularly, and now I'm here 5 days a week with you guys. And I attribute that to the medication. Because I didn't start streaming again until I started taking the meds. Put in a hypothetical conversation. What the hell's wrong with everything, man? Hey, don't ask a fool. Ask a wise one. That's what I'm asking. Yeah. Okay, that's me. Wise. I guess I'm also the king of England too. Hey, you wanna be? No kings, only democracy. I mean, she was a complicated person. Nobody's perfect. And she was born into that world, raised in that world, lived in that world, and died in that world. She probably didn't have much exposure to the outside or to the lowest parts of society. And this is why democracy is a better system, because you can have somebody from the poorest of the poor become the leader of a nation, and they have seen everything and the horrors of life that life can be at its worst, and still become a good and honest and hardworking person. Like, I have a friend whose parents were crackheads and lived in kind of like a drug house. And, well, I say crackheads, they were coke heads. Coke was their drug of choice. Coke and weed. And he was the child that was ignored because the mother wanted a daughter, so his younger sister was favored over him. And his stepdad was abusive and in a biker gang, and he is one of the kindest, most caring and loving people that I've ever met. He's honest to a fault, but also he doesn't hesitate to stand up for himself or his friends. He doesn't really care much for, I'd say, the rule of law, but I think he does care for the spirit of the law, in such that laws protect people, and we've agreed upon these laws, but there are some that are really dumb and we should ignore them. Like, did you know that there is technically a law that it is illegal to back out of your driveway? It's an offense to back out of your driveway in Ontario. Does anybody uphold that antiquated law? No. If you were anally retentive about laws, I suppose, but then again, usually police academy and interviews and hiring processes weed out the rules Nazis. Because nobody likes that. So, like, I have that friend, like, he was on welfare, and he would do what everybody else did, and he would cheat the system, and he would get his mom's like grocery receipts and use those as his food receipts when reporting the use of his money, and then he would like buy game systems. But like, he was really, really poor, and he worked really, really hard, and the system is set up in such a way that you cannot get ahead, you cannot save anything at all. And it's really dumb. It's like the richest get all of these tax breaks and funding and stuff, and then the poor, if you save $1 over what you're getting from welfare, you gotta pay that back. And it's just like, it doesn't work that way. That is broken. The system is set up to keep us poor. Yeah, it's just as bad with ODSP. Yeah. I finally got my thing from ODSP. Now I have to finish it. They were supposed to call me and they never did. And now I have to do all the government change of address shit before I finish the ODSP stuff. And it's like, this should have been done in June. They were supposed to call me in June and they didn't. You're not allowed to have over a certain amount of money in your account? Yep, spending it on first aid stuff is a legitimate strategy. Can I get a job? Yes, but after $1,000 per month, we'll start deducting from your monthly check. It's like, how am I supposed to live if you keep me under the poverty line? How am I supposed to get back on my feet if I'm still under the poverty line? And then they wonder why people cheat the system so much. People don't cheat the system because they're lazy. People cheat the system because they have to. That was the recent increase? Holy shit. That's the neat part. You're not, yeah. I need physiotherapy. Does ODSP cover that? ODSP. Nope. Government site says you do. Oh yes, but only from specific physiotherapists. So why didn't you say that from the beginning? Why did you have to go and do your own research into that? Why is there not a list? It's because your person who works in ODSP doesn't want to do their job. They don't want to go through and find that list for you, which should be a list that they have on hand that is automatically updated in a government database. One part of my problem was that I failed to report my profits at some point by accident, probably because I was stressed. I mean, even that doesn't feel like an excuse. Yeah. That's crazy. Like, ODSP is probably going to tell me that I can't have my stocks. They'll be like, no, you got to sell those and use that money. And it's like, well, that's my retirement. I've been building that up for 15 years and I still only have $5,000. And I'm still $5,000 in debt with the school system. Trying to save the government money so they can keep doing that $5 billion renovation to Parliament. Oh my god. Just tear down the buildings and rebuild them. Yeah, well, that's also why I want Larktown to be self-sufficient. Oh, Babbins. Yeah, well, Ross, that's because you're smart. Smart people don't fall into the right wing. Unless they're indoctrinated from day one. And by that, I mean literal day one, like from birth. Unless you're indoctrinated at childhood, most people wouldn't fall into the right wing because we have intelligence. And the people that do go right wing are either stupid or grifters who are feeding off the stupid. It's an ecosystem. There's the people who feed off of them, and then there's the people who give them everything because they're, well, idiots. And they're brainwashed. And they're susceptible to that sort of thing. Yeah, but you think about, like, I always love the argument of, like, the arts are a useless kind of degree. But you think about how much of society runs off of art. Like, Twitch needs branding, that's art. Your business needs a logo, that's art. Rhetoric is an art. Thanks for the hydrate now. And the Streech. And yes, we already took our maracas. Oh, I feel good. Come to Larptown and be like, you can't get off my lawn. What was SSJ Tyler when he came to visit at me at my place in Kitchener? He was telling me, like, his uncle's land, they tried to charge him for, like, extra buildings and improvements that he had done to the property, but because of the way the property was set up, you couldn't see it from the road, but they had pictures. And so he took them to court. Because that means they trespassed. Because they wouldn't have been able to see those improvements from anywhere on the property's perimeter. Which means they trespassed on his property to try and increase his taxes and his land value so that they get more money out of him. And he's like, no. You can't. You trespassed. Yeah, he either took them to court or he got a court order saying that they can't increase his taxes based on these things because they had to have trespassed to be able to get it. Saw a video about a grifter getting fired from his job because of what he said on social media and stuff how women should not be allowed to vote, which, well, that's a justified reason, in my opinion. Yeah, it is a justified reason to fire someone. The boss didn't try to say this in public relations stuff. He sounded legit upset, expressing he was embarrassed. He and everyone else in the job didn't realize what kind of person he was sooner. Yeah. It's when they start to say the quiet part out loud and they're feeling comfortable enough to say those quiet parts out loud, things have gotten problematic. And I 100%, yes, he did win death. He did win. I don't know, I can't remember the exact story, but it was something along those lines that he took them to court or he went to court and, yeah, there were lawyers involved. There was a legal process somewhere in the background, whether it was actual court or not. I don't remember. But, hey, you can win against the government. There's something positive. Before Ross blows more blood vessels. But yeah, he, his uncle took him to court and won. I say took them to court, but it's some sort of legal process. I don't think it was like actual, like, court, you know, not like Judge Judy kind of thing, but you know. was a legal process. He took them to task for it. And, he won. And he didn't get to have his taxes increased. Which means also they can never increase his taxes. Based on the fact that you can't see it from the road. And until they allow drone photos, specifically, in which case you technically own the airspace above your property. So, if they flew the drone over and took those photos, they still wouldn't be valid because you would be trespassing in his airspace. Now, if they flew up really high and took the pictures from far away, like off the property line, and they're like, "Look, there's buildings there," and you'd be like, "Oh, those are pretty grainy." That's just a temporary wood pile. Yeah, with a tarp over. Or, oh, I just put a piece of spare metal roofing over top of a pile of wood. That's what that is. It's not a bunkhouse. I have anger issues too. Like, we're both one Gamma Bomb away from joining the Aegis of Smash. I don't know what that is. I really need to have a setup that's for just chatting and vibing. I really, really do. I figured it was a TV show. I just have never heard of it. I've heard of MASH. My age is showing. But even I'm not that old. Agents of Smash was an anime series featuring a team of Hulks, Hulk, Red Hulk, She-Hulk, Devil Dino, and A-Bomb. And Scar. Scar's our steward. In Dendronia. It's his name, it's spelled that way too. Yeah, you see, like, I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm like, there's no point in being angry about the things that I can't change. Like, I get frustrated, absolutely. But there's no point in, like, getting legit angry over it, because that just makes me have a bad day. And I'm sick of having bad days. I'm just so sick of it. Which is why I come here and chill. To have conversations where people can, you know, talk about things. They don't feel too pressured to keep it all in. But sometimes people need to talk about stuff. And that's what we do here. It's like a stitching bitch. Where you're sitting around sewing and just complaining about shit. Ugh, God. I hate the way this lighting makes my character look angry all the time. What? I promise I'm not angry. Agents of Smash is a great team name. And very appropriate. Sometimes you just gotta Hulk. Angry all the time, but it's not good for you. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for your cortisol levels. Erases his eyebrows, draws on happy eyebrows. If I, like, raise my eyebrows like this and keep them raised, it kind of works. What's happening is my tracking is picking up the frame of my glasses and trying to make them look like, well, it thinks they're eyebrows. So when I turn my head certain ways or I squint my eyes, it thinks the frames of my glasses are my eyebrows, and it's like, oh, you're angry, right? Even though like my glasses are like thin frames and they're silver. I'll collect a smash. Bow chicka bow wow. Just that kind, not just that kind of smash. I think he likes both kinds of smash. I think Hulk is happiest when he's smashing. In both ways. Yes, that's my secret. I'm always angry. There comes a point where rage becomes zen, and I think he found it. Where you're just so mad you don't feel anything anymore. You're just like, nope. The universe has become one with my anger. I've been there. Where you just feel nothing. I think I'm always there, in fact. Where it's like there's just so much stress and rage and pain, and you're just like, enough. Feel the universe become one with the anger. The anguish sustains me. Yeah, I have gotten angry to the point where I have to disconnect my emotions, because otherwise I become someone that I don't want to be. I become a monster, and I think that's just normal, in fact. I do believe that kind of emotionality is actually normal amongst humans. The more people I talk to about that level of frustration and sheer rage, the more I find that people are just the same. Where they're like, I just turn it off because I have to. I just disconnect my emotions from my actions, and I go into this sort of almost a fugue state where you're just like, there could be bombs going off around me. Like, it's the true embodiment of this is fine. And like, that's the way I feel about with the way everything is in the world right now, with America and the Middle East and Ukraine and Russia and China and everybody else who's fighting over the stupidest shit, usually religion or money. Two things that I hate. And I'm just like, you know what? If our species can't get over it, our species doesn't deserve to continue. But it also makes me wish that I could have kids so that I could raise the next generation of good people who might overcome that. Because right now, it's only the religious people that are like, breed, have babies, 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 babies. Your only purpose is to repopulate. And then I think about them, I'm like, bleh! You know, those fun little games that you used to play when you were a kid. They're like, how many kids are you going to have when you grow up? All of them always said I was going to have 5 boys and a girl. And then when I think about it, most of my fronds that I've adopted, it probably equates to about that. They didn't say how you were going to have kids. They just said that you are going to have them. And I keep adopting all the young'uns. It's not my duty to pass on my genes, but it is my duty to pass on my heart and soul and honor. And that's the way I feel about it. I may not have children of my own, but in some ways, when I pass on my wisdom to other people, that is passing on who I am in the most literal sense. Sneaks off to do shenanigans. Enjoy your shenanigans. I can now read fantasy with very little trouble. The shenanigans is a hard word to spell though, man. Like, I have trouble with it. I think it's because I've never actually physically written the word down. I've only ever typed it. You don't control it, you aim it. Nice. That's it though. It's like no spoons, only knives. Forgotten Angels is a charity that proves we don't need to have children. We need to take care of the ones that are out there. Absolutely. Yep, shenanigans is a hard word to spell. I have difficulty with it. I always write it wrong the first time. That's taken now. Next med time is 8 p.m. Hey, you wanted to lose weight. Just be careful not to gain it back. Tesla. He was standing next to me. Bobbins. Hey, y'all. I have a kitten. If a baby kitten. He makes my days better. My chair arm rubbing against my desk. Oh, you're getting some tea. Oh. He's getting cuddles and tea. He's so soft and warm, and it's making me sleepy again. He was asleep on my chest all night. Sorry, the tracking's not picking in my mouth. There's a cat in front of me. I like this song. I wish it was longer. I think this is the one that just ends abruptly, too. It's probably the one that keeps getting claimed as well. There's this Chinese bot that just claims my videos. And it's so frustrating. If I could make my own music, I would. But as it stands, I barely have time to even make stuff for my own stream. I don't know how everybody else does it. I should probably change to just chatting, shouldn't I? we're just chatting today. No dedicated art today. I think one of the reasons why I'm so tired is yesterday I went on a long walk in the woods in the evening. I can barely walk today. There was lots of up and down on the hills, and to get to the woods you have to go down a really steep hill. That's really hard for me. And then, of course, after you've done your whole walk, you have to walk up a really steep hill too. Gotta go back up that hill. But the forest is so nice. And it's perfect this time of year. There's no mosquitoes. We saw a snake. A little garter snake. He was such a cutie pie. He tried to lunge at me. And I was like, oh, you look at you little vicious man. You're trying to bite my finger, but the head is the size. Your head is the size of my top part of my index phalange. He's so small, so vicious. And all the colors were really pretty, and the river was really low, so we were able to go quite far out into the banks. And I only had at most 3 hours of sleep the night before. And then last night, this nugget was sleeping on my chest all night, trying to suffocate me.
Death_Sand says, when Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who choose to oppose his shield must yield unless you're a plane, or a bomb, or some ice, or a brainwashed buddy, or Spider-Man, or Tony Stark, or a version of yourself, or just plain Thanos, or the Dora Milaje, or a President Hulk. Then you don't necessarily have to yield.
Yeah. Plot holes. Plot armor. My favorite is the puny god scene when Hulk is just ragdolling Loki. That's still like my all-time favorite moment in all of the Marvel films. I have a kitten and he's got fuzzy triangles. Glad Havarti was working today. I just broke a bit of skin from your finger from doing laundry. Did it get caught on something? I like how in some media, some superheroes, when they talk, they refer to themselves by their names and not their code names. Oh, it's from how it should have ended. Yes. She is good. Like how in Batman The Dark Knight Returns, Superman is never called by his name, just Clark or him. Big guy. I don't think I ever saw The Dark Knight Returns. The best animated Batman film is Mask of the Phantasm. I will hear no other arguments. I had the best music. I had that on VHS. My brother and I watched it a lot. Sorry, people are messaging me. Mask of the Phantasm was a fantastic movie. My feet are cold. I need socks. My toesies are chilly. Hey, Babbins. You don't have to stay in here. Go explore the house. Please, go explore the house. Cuddle with my mom. I'm sure she would love it. She just keeps wandering back and forth. Old people are murdered by letting you live. Joker, I never kept count. Batman, I did. Yep. It's because Batman cares and Joker doesn't because he's a sociopath and a psychopath. Animated Joker is so good though. And like Mark Hamill, he plays such a good Joker. To think Luke Skywalker, of all people, is a great evil man. Plays such great evil characters. Yeah. Heath Ledger Joker was also an excellent Joker. And of course, you can't forget Jack Nicholson from the original Batman film with the score by Danny Elfman. He was a good Joker. It was such a good movie. And as you can see, I'm already smiling! Sometimes it's fun to just be unhinged like that. I have an unhinged character. There's no laws against the Pokemon Batman. Death. I love how much lore the superheroes have. Like, they originally started as just concepts, and they've just grown into this thing with multiverses, and I love it. I could never really get into, like, into the lore myself. It's the same thing with WoW. WoW has so much lore. And LOL also has so much lore, and I just can't keep up with it all, man. I'm still trying to figure out all the lore at Conquest. Mr. Freeze. The Arnold version. Just every time somebody mentions Mr. Freeze, all I can think of is Arnold. There was just... Yes. He kind of was, wasn't he? Oh no, the Arnold version was great. It's just that whole movie was shit. Like, it's not even like so good, so bad it's good. It was just bad. But also, it's one of those ones where it's so bad it's hilarious, but it's not like good comedy. It's like, this is cringe. Wasn't Jim Carrey the Riddler in that one? He made a good Riddler too. It was kind of weird. Yeah. I know there was one with the Riddler, and it was Jim Carrey was the Riddler, and he did a really good job. I'm not gonna lie, Jim Carrey is a fantastic actor. He's one of those people, he's very recognizable. Look at meme. I will look at meme. To the memery. We'll bring up the meme on screen. On screen memes. Gay lasers. He has the power to turn anyone gay! Just prism fingers. Wait a minute. What, 10 cents for a comic book? Wow. Granted, the level of art that went into those comics was nowhere near the level of art that's in comics today. I actually have a bunch of Transformers comics. I have a huge two boxes of comics under my desk, and I have a lot of the Transformers comics that came out in the early 2000s, and I got them, read them once, and then wrapped them in plastic. I could probably sell them. I wouldn't know where to sell them or how much they're worth, but I would like to. It would get them out of my life. Less stuff, better. Let's see, what have I got here? Transformers G.I. Joe. I've got second printing of just regular Transformers. I think it was like a comic reboot. April 02. And I've got the chrome print of it. It's really neat. Like, they're gorgeous. So these are labeled too. And I've got the first print of the Transformers comic with the Decepticon cover. First print with the Autobot cover. Yep. So they had two different sets of these comics. The label came off this one. Just had a little sticky tack. And then I have Transformers More Than Meets the Eye number 5. These are May 2003. They're all in hardbacks. Transformers War Within. And then I have Transformers War Within number 1 from October 2002. And it has a lenticular holographic on it of Optimus transforming. Actually, it might be Rodimus. Or it's Space Truck Optimus. And a couple of Transformers Armada from 2003. Another lenticular cover. I totally forgot that these had lenticular covers. It's those like old-fashioned holographics. I really do like Transformers. I should pop these out and read them, or find a place online to read them, so that I don't have to touch the books. The art's pretty great. I would love to try and draw some Transformers sometime. I have quite a lot of Armada. Yeah, I got up to the 5th comic of just the original Transformers when they did the re-release with the Autobot Decepticon covers. I was working at the comic store at that time as a co-op student in high school. it's a heavy box, and that's not even my fullest box. If I haven't already, I should link someone animating a scene from one of the more recent comics. Whole thing could be an animated series. Nice. There's some comics in here that don't have hardbacks on them. Transformers Energon. Yeah, I ran out of hardback covers for these. So they're just still wrapped in the paper bag that I bought them in. What's this one, and why is it sideways? Oh. That's Free Comic Book Day one. With Judge Dredd in it. Are these? Oh, I do have hardbacks. Was it the plastics that I ran out of? I think it's the sleeves that I ran out of. Free Comic Book Day, Way of the Rat. Free Comic Book Day, Batman Adventures #1. Marvel Mangaverse. I can't believe I used to like that art style. It's terrible. Oh god, it's so bad. The Mangaverse Doctor Strange design isn't really terrible. Ben Dunn was the artist. What's this? Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 1, as a compendium, I think? What's this one? Star Wars Tales, a Jedi Weapon, Free Comic Book Day. Yeah, this box is mostly the Free Comic Book Day stuff. An original Casper the Ghost comic. #10. Thanks for the hydrate and the streech. A comic called Dark Angel. It's anime style. I forgot that existed. The re-release of the Thundercats comics. What is this? Transformers Summer Special 20th Anniversary. And another bag of unwrapped comics. Partially wrapped comics. More Transformers. Wow. I wonder if I can get some money for these and put it towards LARP Town. Free comic book day, Witch and Wizard, James Patterson. Interesting. Captain America and Thor. These are all the free comic book day. The Smurfs and Geronimo Stilton. Free comic book day is wild sometimes. Baltimore. This looks like a horror series. Super Dinosaur? Free comic book day is definitely can get interesting. Avatar: The Last Airbender, free comic book day. So they actually had Atla Comics. So yeah, I actually have some comics. I did my high school co-op at the comic book store. The local one here. It was not called the comic book store, that was a different comic book store. The one I did my co-op, that was Entertainment Inc. INK. The owner was kind of a dick, to be honest. He wasn't very nice to me. They would make fun of me all the time. I didn't know they were making fun of me until later. It was very demoralizing. And it's no wonder that girls don't get into comics. I was just free labor. And now we stretch. Just a little quick one, because lifting that box. The box was heavy. Those two boxes, but that second box was really heavy because it was almost full. Any Shiro was in there? Not sure. I need to double check. Let's see. Fuel satiated over time. Yeah. And there was also a posture check, so everybody unshrimp thine spines. Mine definitely got an unshrimpening. He-Man Thundercats crossover? That sounds great. Disney finally admits the Rise of Skywalker lost money. Just under 600 million. Just under 600 million. Drop of the bucket for them, probably. How long until they admit how bad the Acolyte was? What's the Acolyte? I don't even know. Comic book might be nice to your employees, or they will work for your competition, or just another field altogether. That just comes to mind. Yeah, really. It's like the guy who cut my hair from like childhood till I was an adult. His name was Patrick, and he used to work at the salon that's at the convenience store, like across the street. It's not quite across the street, but it's like up the block a little bit. It's across the main road that my street is attached to, but I can see it, my house. And the lights are bright. I don't like it, because my neighbors cut down all their trees. And, he eventually left that salon and started working out of his basement from home, because he had a whole bunch of clients who really liked him, but the salon wasn't paying him enough. So, then I would go to his place to have my hair cut. My mom would take me there every once in a while. And then he eventually got enough money saved up to buy his own salon, so he moved out to the West End, and he opened his own salon. And there was another salon in the area that he was competing with, but the lady who was running that place was like really rude and nasty and mean, and all of her employees started leaving, and he would pick them up because, well, they were good employees who were good at cutting hair. And he started getting all this business, and she allegedly paid someone to off him. And so they attacked him in front of his house one night and beat him with baseball bats, metal ones. And they tried to kill him. And they gave him some pretty bad concussions, and then after that his cuts were never quite as straight as they used to be because, well, brain damage. And then he retired after I moved away. So now I have to find yet another person to cut my hair. I've gone through 3 or 4 now since I moved out, and I always find one finally, and then I have to start over again. All the time. Preserve yourself, do not look up Acolyte. You don't want to look up what pink kryptonite does to Superman, or when that comic came out. I know what pink kryptonite does. I have seen it. I have spent time on the internet. Oh, Tesla's going for a snack. No drop, no more. Disney hasn't made profit since. Good. Disney needs to die. Confused how when Rise of Skywalker came out, the movie came in on budget, still cost $600 million to make, and 2 weeks after the movie came out, Disney reported Rise of Skywalker came in under budget. Which is a Disney. Could it be it actually went over budget? Yeah, it's almost like these companies lie to their investors. Because they want money. That is true. I still don't believe in karma, but part of me wishes it will happen to her sooner or later. Yeah. I don't know if she was ever actually charged. I don't think I will ever know. I just know what happened to him. He had some pretty serious bruising for months afterwards. All around his eyes, so they were hitting him in the face with the bats, and they were stomping on him and stuff. They nearly killed him. It was horrible. So, I know someone who was almost murdered because he dared to open a business and run it well, like a good human being, and be a great boss and a fantastic person. Karma is justice without the satisfaction. And I don't believe in justice. I don't believe in karma. I wish I could. Do I have Windows 10 or 11? I have Windows 11. And it's fine. There are things about it that I hate. But you know what? There's open source programs, and there are tutorials on how to get rid of some of the things that you don't want. Sometimes they're a little bit scary to do because you have to go into your registry and like make changes to like how the computer works to get rid of some things. But if you follow the tutorials right, it's usually not a problem. Let's just say when the comic came out, Pink Kryptonite, Will and Grace was the most popular show on television. Yeah. The same article says it was on budget, under budget, and later says Disney rushed production to meet the deadline, which means it would have cost more for all the overtime. Yep. Death! Thanks for the hydrate. I don't have anything left to drink. I'll have to go get something to drink. If I had the nerve and no scruples, I'd want to talk to those people. Just a conversation. Yeah, absolutely. When I found out about it, I was like, Patrick is one of the nicest people I've ever met. He's kind, honest, hardworking, intelligent. Just like this little 5-foot-tall Chinese man. And he had the straightest cut I have ever seen in my life. Like, man, that guy could cut your hair like razor sharp. Like precision machinery line straight. He was so good. He used to be able to give me Cloud's haircut for Mad Men Children. And it actually looked like it. The, like, soft, fluffy spikes. I used to have that haircut. It didn't look very well on me, but, like, I would take the time to style it every day because I loved it. Do the right thing, say the right thing, get beaten for it. Yeah, that's about how life works. I don't blame Karma either. Imagine how much we could make for LARP Town if we could get Necromancer, Harley, and anyone else. Windows computers to write unless it doesn't spy on people or have ads in it. That can't be turned off. Yeah. I used to do that. And collections. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and beware the fury of a patient man. Yep. Do not mistaken kindness for complacency. And do not mistaken empathy for weakness. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get something to drink. And, so that, I can redeem Death's Hydrate. I don't think I'm gonna have a cup of tea. I might... Should I have coffee? I can smell the decaf being run through, so it's probably about family coffee time. I just realized that I'm gonna have to go out later this evening. It's craft night. So, Thursday nights, my brother and his friends, they get together for crafts, and they're doing embroidery. I wish I had some embroidery for my costume to do. But, yeah, they're all learning to do these crafts together every Thursday night. Yeah, I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee, because it's kind of cold in here, and I don't want tea right now. So, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves, revolt, have a war, or make new friends. It's up to you. Hi, I'm back. I gotta show you something. I just have to get to my Discord on my phone. Tesla actually went downstairs of his own regard and went and sat in the sun on the armchair. It's so cute! But then my mom closed her laptop and he got scared and ran away, and I caught him just as he got up to flee. Look at that nugget! Been doing art edits. Should post a few. Yes, post stuff. I was just telling my dad downstairs that science is the most used channel in our Discord. Also, side note, hate those clickbait thumbnails. Also, the banshee noticed my nephew's crying and screaming because he wants something he isn't getting it. Yep, Tesla actually went and sat in the sun. Also, those are the green cushions that my mom made, and that fabric she bought when she was in university. And it was in a giant roll. And she brought it back from where she went to school in Montreal on the train, carrying it with her back to Ontario, where she lived with her parents. So that fabric is older than I am. And it's such a beautiful color. I'm not even sure what kind of fabric it is. It's some sort of wool, I think. But it's really, really nice. Tesla. But yeah, he found a sunny spot to go sit. But it's such a fabulous kind of a mossy green. I think I might paint my room that color, to be honest. My room is blue right now. And it's called Pool House Blue. Let's see if I can find it. If I can find like a swatch or something. I wish they could give you wish they would give you the hex code. This is the shade of blue, technically, that my walls are. But it looks slightly different than on my monitor. Because I'm looking at it, and, like, I still have the original swatch that I chose for this. And mine is... I think I have to turn down the luminosity a little bit. And maybe up the saturation. It's the right hue. Because sitting here, looking at it on the walls of my room, it's definitely the right hue. But saturation needs to go up and luminosity needs to go down. It's more like that. Let's get rid of, oops. Let's get rid of that, because that's bothering me. And now I have to decrease the saturation again. So it's like a desaturated dusty blue. Yeah, I'd say it's about that, but because it's on the walls of a room, it actually looks a bit darker than that. But that's about what the color actually is. Yeah, apparently its official name is CO4 Pool House Blue. But like you can buy this paint color from this company. They went and got like as many of the technical data sheets they could get their hands on for Martha Stewart's colors, and she stopped selling stuff. It's had time to age. Yeah, it's dusty and it's dusty and scuffed and dirty. Also, good morning, Mewtwo's and Perf! Monstrella Marmalade. Everybody go subscribe, or at least follow Monsty. I call her Perf, because I knew her as Perfect Storm 333. That was her name before she changed it. So she will always be Perf to me. She's my Troubleton. She's a really, really kind and generous and gentle person. Are you on your server? I should join your server. But then I would have 2 servers. I still want to join your server. You should send me the info at some point. Thanks for the Hydra death. I have Kofifi now. But Mewtwo, look, Tesla went downstairs of his own accord and sat in the sun. It seems he'll only go downstairs when I'm there now. But he's discovered that the living room has a window with birds and sun. Is it just, it's straight up vanilla, right? Infos and ads Discord. Okay. I'll have to find it. I don't know when I'll go. Neff has redeemed a stretch. There's too many stretches, Neff, but everybody have a little stretch for yourself. I'll give my neck a little stretch. And maybe give my back a little bit of a stretch, but I'm not doing the, like, full stretch today. I've had enough of the stretches. Too many stretches. I need to find a footstool to put under this desk. I have, like, a little roller thing. It has little foot rollers on it. But it's not tall enough. I hear birds, and I'm already picturing a cat trying to mimic the sounds of the birds because food is food. Yeah, the little thing that cats do, the little hunting noise. Yeah, it is a really big step for Tesla. He's figured out that the stairs aren't so scary. I found his favorite little mousey. Yeah, the yeah, I found his favorite little mouse toy in the bag of toys. And I tossed it onto the stairs, and he started climbing down the stairs to play with it. And then he would knock it down the stairs, and I would pick it up, and I would throw it back to the top, and then he would knock it down the stairs. So, the stairs aren't so terrifying anymore. So, whenever I get a chance to, I play with him on the stairs. But I try not to leave any toys on the stairs. So that my mom doesn't trip on them. Yeah, I do have a mod. Burf is my mod. It's 1.2, 1.6. I haven't played vanilla Minecraft in so long. I'm watching, Corrales play his Create mod, and oh my god, it looks so good. And the little frogs, oh my lord. The little frogs as instruments, and they have their own little villages. Like, it makes me want to learn all of the Create mod stuff, because it's like the blocks you can make, and it has trains. Yeah, why I stream early. I do stream fairly early. Today is just chatting. We're very rarely in this category. I was just very EP today, and I didn't want to do any art, but I also didn't want to do co-working. I like interacting with people, and co-working, the way I have it set up doesn't quite work. Appointment is about to start. I'm going quiet for close to an hour. Okay, Ross. I hope your appointment goes well. Well, I give the option of vanilla, plugins, or modded. Ads had wanted create and mine colonies, but others asked for vanilla. You got outvoted. Yeah, like, I could do create, but I don't know, there's something about mine colonies, I just don't enjoy it. But, like, whatever Corrales has going on, like, he's got, Ribbit and, a couple of, like, creature mods and stuff that allow you to, that has, like, otters and whatnot. Whatever Corrales has got going, it's really good. He's got BOP, etc. And it looks really quite nice. I would recommend checking out his series on YouTube that's going on right now. He seems to be releasing about 1 episode a day. But he's only on, what, episode 3 or 4 now? And it's really, really quite cute. Oh, thank you. I will probably look at it later. I've got some stuff I have to do today. Like, actually create the measurements and plan for my new desk. And then, this evening I have crafting with, my brother and his friends. Grass grows, birds fly, sun shines, and brother I cast fireball. Death and his random quotes. I'm just looking at Nugget. I still don't know what color to paint my room. I'm choosing to be a brat to ads, but I'm not actually pushing. Graydon and Amy are on like every day, so it's not going to waste. That's good, that's good. Yeah, I don't know what Twitterpy's doing right now. I should log back on and continue working on Lotus Pier and at least finish it. And maybe create a road system back to Spawn. I think that would be nice. So how's everybody doing the server? Like what's the setup? Is it just everybody's building around Spawn? Maybe we'll do some mince raft tomorrow. I was looking for a tropical island on Twinterpy, but like there's only one tiny smidge of tropics in the giant ocean. One tiny little island that's barely big enough for a house. And I'm like, well, that's shit. It's not really got a set theme yet. You don't really need a set theme for a Minecraft server. I mean, I suppose, like, having a sort of cohesive theme for Spawn is fun too, but also kind of like the chaos, as long as it's not like Crafty Tower chaos, because that was beautiful house and then Crafty Tower. Ooh, a pink village. You gotta get some of that new white wood too and use that. Could build Dream Castle from My Little Pony, the original. Ooh, black and pink go so well together though. Not gonna lie. Where is my Minecraft? I don't need like CurseForge or anything to load in, do I? Just regular Minecraft. Pale oak, yeah. Neff, you've booped the snoot. It is the boop snoot, like the derp snoot. But it is the snoot that gets booped. The boop snoot. If you're not here regularly, perf, that's a thing that I do when somebody boops my snoot. Eventually, I would like to have a redeem that actually boops the snoot. Yep, it's a secret code. But I would like to have a boop snoot redeem. You probably have. It doesn't happen very often anymore, but every once in a while, if you do it too many times, it gets a little bit dull, so I have a couple variations. So when it gets done a lot, I will sometimes switch it up, but it's kind of like an NPC reaction. And speaking of reactions, I need more interactive stuff. If people have suggestions, please post them in the Discord. You boop Tesla Snoot. He runs away in fear. Ugh. Dwarf, thanks for the hydrate and the posture check. Hello, how you doing today? Everybody unshrimp thine spines. Give your neck a little stretch. Sit up straight. A little stretchy wave back and forth. Lazy, like seaweed in the ocean currents. Become kelp. Wiggle. If I do that too long, I'm gonna fall asleep. But look at that nugget. The look of terror. My dad caught one where he was like actually like loafing and like had his chin down on the cushion. I'll probably never get to see that photo. Yeah, I just don't know how to do the daily catch thing, the randomized whatever. I just don't know how to do it. And like when people are like, "Oh, you've got to get like this plugin or something or allow this bot or whatever," I'm just like, I don't know how to do that, and I get overwhelmed. That's when my ADHD goes, "Ah!" And then I never do it. So that's one of the things that I want to finish working on today after stream. Tesla is not a lap cat. He doesn't go in your lap. You flip up the hem of your sweater, turn a cat hammock. Aww. You need to get one of those cat hoodies. They're like a hoodie, but they've got like a little sack on the front, or like a giant pocket that's at like chest height, so the cat can. It's got a built-in cat hammock. That's what you need. Was Izzy your cat? Well, you could get the cat hammock hoodie, and then you could get a cat. You don't need the cat first. It's just usually a good idea to have the cat first. Ah. Is Izzy still alive? One of Mewtwo's cats is named Izzy. No? Aw. I'm sorry. This is the problem with cats, is they have short lives like dogs. I don't expect Tesla to live very long, but he might surprise me. He might live out of spite. And I can say a paper from For one real medical check paper, you can usually get 100% medical check from a medic. Will you accept it? A medic or the medic? Do you remember Luna? I do kind of remember Luna. Wasn't she one of your black cats? Or your, the black cat? You had so many cats, Monsty. Because he was originally named Isabella by someone, forget who. Wife got Izzy, and I was like, Izzy is a boy cat. So it became Izzy or Biz. A boy Izzy, Biz. Your medic. A real medical check? The question is he an actual doctor? That's the next question. The tiny calico. I know you had one that was black, at least. Did she pass away? I mean, it's been so long, and pets do pass away. Luna's still alive. Oh, wow. 18. That is a good run for a cat. I think Ginger made it to 22. Almost 23 out of spite. It was one of Mewjuice's cats when we were growing up. The bat cat. Ah! That's pretty great. Yeah, Mewjuice's kitten Izzy is a black cat, and she's definitely got black cat vibes. Cargo is her orange cat, and he's definitely got the orange cat shared brain cell syndrome, and it's pretty great. Then do I accept it? I will take his medical check, but I will not take his medical advice. He can check me, but he's not allowed to use anything on me. Just because I don't want him to feel left out. I don't want to be rude to Medic. Ah yes, Medic. His bird Archimedes got trapped in Scout's chest, right? What? She was 19 and a half, and Kitty got to 21. Oh wow, I forgot that. I legit forgot that Kitty lived longer than Ginger. Luna seems to be doing well, and then just arthritis. Well, when you're like 96, equivalent. It's just some arthritis is pretty good. TF2 lore. Yeah, I figured that. That's TF2 medic. But this is my medic. Yeah, Death Sans medic is, something else. Can your orange cat let my orange cat have the brain cell occasionally of you? Because he, like, never gets to turn with it. We'll split it in half. Between them, they can have one brain cell. We're pretty sure that, that River is definitely an orange cat that's black, because, he ate all of the tendrils. Like, all of the neurons. No. He ate all of the dendrites off of the neuron, model, stuffed animal that Sai had. He ate them all. He even ate the tails off the rats. And anything else that had a string, he literally ate them. There's nothing we could do to stop him from eating strings. That cat was so dumb. The River is such a little shit. He's gonna get himself killed one day. He's gonna chew on the wrong thing. I missed Sai and Moom and Vel and Ruby. I miss them so much. And I try not to think about it. I miss Velcro and his cuddles. Because Velcro's a snuggly little boy. And he always cuddled with me. He cuddled with me more than he cuddled with Sai. I feel a little bit bad for that. Because he was Sai's cat. And she got him because he looked like Atlas, but his personality is a little bit snugglier than Atlas was. I miss Atlas too. I just have Tessa and he just sleeps on me. He will only sleep on me. He doesn't cuddle with me otherwise. Only when I'm in bed. And that's when I don't want to be bothered because I'm trying to sleep. But I've discovered that having him close and purring, I eventually sleep very well until he sleeps directly on my chest. And if I start using my CPAP again, he might not sleep with me at all because he'd be scared of it. Necromancer's not here today. I hope he's alright. Cat Lover's Wearable Blanket Hoodie. Why is it for women? Why does it say for women? Men can want soft, fluffy blankets too. Nev sent me a link to an Amazon thing. It's a blanket that is also a hoodie and has little cat mittens on the side. Because it's not sized for men. Though they probably don't even have one for men. And the women's one is probably too small for me anyways. Because I usually have to get stuff that's sized for men. Because I am not a dainty lady. But also, too bad it doesn't come in black. Well, guess what? I can sew shit. If I can get that kind of fabric, or a blanket that's the right size, I can literally just make one of those. As a matter of fact, I can probably make a better one than that. It would even be hand embroidered. It probably lasts longer too, because the way I sew. I'm getting there with my sewing. If I don't make everything in 4 days before Conquest, the stuff lasts a long time. Well, that's my biggest problem. I'm gonna save that blue swatch. I wish you could take a hex code into like a paint company and get them to make you a really tiny batch of that kind of paint. Like the test pots that they give you are often, I find, too big. If you ask for a test pot of a color, I find the test pots are too big. To be honest, Medic was just meant to be a joke character, but more I used him, more he became his own character. Yeah, those are the best characters. It's like every D&D character size ever made. It was this one guy who is, he was pretending to be a necromancer, but I forget what his actual class was. And so he would just, like, do the strangest shit, and that's where, like, the undead chicken grenade came from. You'll have to ask Sai about the chicken grenade at some point. It was hilarious. I cannot tell that story. But, like, we did the wackiest shit. And so I picked up a page from her book, and I made a monk character who just used anything she could as a shuriken. If it was disc-like, it would become a shuriken. And I just, like, specialized in improvised throwing weapons. And hand-to-hand combat. And we didn't get very far in that campaign because the guy's wife was upset that these girls kept coming over to the house and playing D&D with him. And of course, when, like, my character was female, Sai's character was male, and then, like, there was this one point where, like, we were gonna be found out during this mission, and we're just like, panic, kiss each other! And she's probably like, oh, these two are lesbians. And she was, like, super religious. And I think it was after that game that D&D just kept getting canceled and canceled and canceled until we were like, you know what, we're just gonna cancel the game. I think it was because of her. But it was a great game. He was such a great DM, too. It's a shame that his wife just said no. I guess she was intimidated by funnier girls who had absolutely zero interest in this man in any way other than, hey, look, a fellow nerd, we're playing D&D. Well, then no reason to worry about your husband playing D&D with them, yeah. And then there was Ashley, who was bi and poly. And she was playing a dwarf who was a rock connoisseur, so she would always lick rocks. It was like avid carpet enjoyer level of licking rocks, and it was hilarious. I love it how that man's just become a legend on this channel. If you were here, you know. He certainly left an impression. Just ate all of the carpets in the kingdom. We had to weave new ones. All of our fancy carpets, that is. Because we don't use the word rug, apparently. The R word is not permitted. Not in his presence, anyways. We'll talk about rugs all day. Rug, 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 rug. Well, yeah, she was probably jealous that women's were showing his interest because she wouldn't. Well, like, she kind of did. Parf! Thanks for the prime. Enjoy your stay at the inn. I hope it's not too loud with Necrocon. I hope it's not too loud with Necrocon going on. Actually, I think by now we've probably built Necromancer his own little mansion somewhere. And Necrocon is just happening there. So the inn's probably nice and quiet again. But thank you so much for your Prime subscription. Your Bezos bucks. I appreciate it. It helps me keep the channel going. And gives me a reason to continue and prove to my family that yes, you can make a living on Twitch. There are pillagers in your river? Pillage them. Aw, thank you, Puff Puff. Yeah, my brother has Prime, and he doesn't come and give me his Prime subscription. I don't think he gives anybody his Prime subscription. And I'm like, you should give me the Prime subscription. And he's like, but we live in the same house. They'll think it's like, you using an alt. And I'm like, no. They can take 1 minute to look at my entire, like, IP history and be like, oh yeah, this person probably just moved there. Like, they can see that it's not me. You've got an entirely different name. AF Power 4 Infinity Bow. They were dispatched quickly. Nice. You're at the inn, just writing in a corner. Eventually, I would like to make a map of the islands. I should do that at some point. I just haven't quite decided some things about the Demora Society. Mainly their architecture. Like, it's probably Asian inspired, but I don't want it to be, like, too on point, you know? You're also playing Minecraft, but not at the moment. You don't play Java, though, do you? Can your computer run Java? The Java Minecraft? I wish Minecraft had, like, a friends list option so that you could friend people on your Microsoft account. At least, since they forced you to have your Microsoft account. And my Microsoft account is not Seika. It's Seika with, like, some sort of number. It's really annoying. Because I never know which email address to use, and then, like, one of the email address that I would normally use for Say is not the one that I use for Say, because, like, I don't use my Seika email for anything related to any of my socials, or my games and whatnot, so that if somebody hacks that one, they will get nothing. I just have it, and I don't even really use it anymore. Everything else is tied somewhere else. For safety reasons. Because the name is so unique, right? It's easy to find out who I am from that. Like, you would assume that because I'm Seika everywhere, I'd use the Seika Gmail or something. And, I don't. I have it, but I don't use it anymore. For that reason exactly. If somebody wanted to try and steal a VTuber's social media accounts, they would just go steal their Gmail and then take all of the links to that. Anything that's linked up with it. Like, there are security things. Live in a cave, just a silly half troll. Well, you would have to buy Java as well. Console Bedrock. Yeah. Perf and I are like OG Minecraft players. So we started on Java. Did you start playing Minecraft before the other versions came out, Perf? Because I know I did. I bought Java way back in alpha when they had that thing where they're like, oh, if any new version of Minecraft ever gets released, you get a free copy of it. Needless to say that that agreement was not upheld with, like, Minecraft Dungeons and Bedrock and blah blah blah. But yeah, I bought it when that was the agreement, that I would get all future updates and versions of anything Minecraft related for free. As long as it was, like, you know, a game. So, like, even Dungeons, I probably should have received that for free according to that agreement. But nobody can find the written information / tweet or whatever it was post about that anymore because they scrubbed it. Yeah, well, like, Notch is the one who posted that, right? And I was like, well, I'm really enjoying this game, and it's only 10 euros, so I paid, what, $13 Canadian for it at the time? Because of the exchange rates. So, it was like $13.50 Canadian or something that I paid for Minecraft, and now it's like 30 something. It's amazing that it costs so much to buy a game that's that old when it's the most played game on the planet. You would think that they wouldn't need more money. But when Microsoft bought it, they upped the price. They like doubled it or more. And it's like, bro, stop. Why do you need this much money? You know how much money you're making off the IP alone already? I still haven't seen the Minecraft movie. I probably never will. I'll probably never play Minecraft Dungeons. I will never play Bedrock. If they ever get rid of Java, I will have to stop playing Minecraft entirely. Because I simply will not buy another version of it. And then I'll go back to playing whatever hacked version exists. That's just the way it's gonna have to be. But that's the, like, the thing with the games, too, that they were going on about a while back. Where, like, games that stop being updated should be released to the public. So that people who want to maintain them and continue playing them can do so. But the big companies are like, no, we must keep our IP forever. It doesn't matter whether you put like thousands of dollars into this game. We keep it because it belongs to us. All of the assets, everything, it is ours. Because if we want to release it later as like a limited release thing and like make money from like people's nostalgia for this thing, we can do that. But if we put it out for free and all of the files and whatnot, somebody might just copy it and they might make money that we aren't making because we don't want to put the money into maintaining this thing. This is why I hate capitalism. I like it when people make something and they're like, yeah, just have this. I made it. It's cool. Have fun with it. The only reason I want to sell things and like start a business and sell things is so that I can make money to live, because I need to live and you can't live without money. Apparently there's a game out there that's kind of like that. It's one of those like cozy life sim, farm sim vibe games where you're a vampire that wakes up after 1,000 years and like your home is condemned because you haven't paid any taxes, and like it gets torn down and you have to get a job at like a coffee shop. So you're a vampire that works at basically Starbucks, but you're like 1,000 years old and you're like, what the hell is going on? And then eventually like you start a farm and stuff. Apparently there's a cozy game out there that's like that. I gotta figure out what it's called and possibly get it. Because it sounds hilarious. Skyrim and all the versions of that game, yeah. At this point, please just give us the next one. Like, I understand it takes a long time to make these games. Like, they have to build all of the assets for a game like Skyrim, and that can take a very long time. But also, if you're not ready for it for like the next 2 years, if you're not going to be done in 2 years, do not announce the fucking game. And the whole like early release beta bullshit that went on because Minecraft became so popular doing its like release system, where it was like, oh, people are buying the game and they're making millions of dollars, but the game's not actually officially done yet. We can do that too. And then you got a whole whack of games that were like, yes, this is like Minecraft, but better. And then they stopped updating after like 6 months or a year. And people got sick of it. And now if you try to do that, people are like, no. Yeah. It's so frustrating. I have to go to the bathroom. I had too much to drink. I'll be right back. I'm back. I hope this this just chatting session was okay for you guys. I think I needed a short break from the art piece. This one painting. It's getting so close. Neff, that is a really adorable cat. Neff linked me a picture of of a cat from a friend of his last night who was streaming. Forget the guy's name, but he seemed like an interesting dude, so I followed him. You know, support others in the community kind of thing. And he has a skinny orange cat that apparently decided to rub against his mouse while he was playing The Witcher 3 last night. And he shared some pictures. He reminds me very much of Cargo, except much shorter haired. Cargo is a long boy with long boy hair. Well, it's almost the end of stream, and I've got lots to do before I get dragged off to crafting today. Well, almost the end of stream. It is the end of stream. Posting the community Discord undercuts. Nice. I will go give them a heart there too. We're doing some embroidery today. They did some sewing a little while back where they made voodoo dolls of my brother. And they've done, like, foam dioramas and stuff. If I knew where it was taking place, I think my brother is driving me there. Because we're going together. If I knew it was located and stuff, I would 100% invite you. But also you don't know any of these people and they don't know you. But I would 100% have you join us. We do it every Thursday night. And I know you're quote-unquote local. As a matter of fact, I think you might be relatively close to them too. But I know they're just on the other side of the border. They live in Quebec. The location that we're going to, I think, is in Quebec. But, yeah, they get together and they just learn crafting skills every Thursday. Not a people person. Well, I think you should get to know more people. You might surprise yourself. Because I like you. I think you're a good person. I like hanging out with you. You're great to hang out with during stream, so why wouldn't you be great to hang out with off of stream? Even Moss uses the same, ew, people, and I'm like, yay, people! But I'm an ambivert. I need time to decompress between things. Which is why stream is sort of like gone down to a 3-hour kind of affair, because I'm just like, I need the downtime. And I now live in a house with 3 other people, and I've been living with one other person for the last, like, 12 years. One other person and anywhere between 1 and 4 cats. It's been a tough transition having people constantly coming into my room to pet Tesla and bother him and be like, look, a kitty! It's driving me insane. So let's find someone to raid. Moko Maid seems to be the only one on that is an artist. There's also Tatsu VT, who's a sexy dragon guy. He's got a nice voice. That's about all I know about him. Nice 2D VTuber model. Human interactions is fucking exhausting. I don't know how you people handle that shit. I don't know how we handle that shit either. We just do it. We haven't gone to Mokome in a while, so let's go see them. And so we're off sailing to other waters. May the fronds wash safely ashore in distant lands. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Maybe we'll play some Minecraft. Maybe we'll get back into art. Maybe we'll do something else. I don't know. But thank you all for coming by. Monsty, thank you so much for your Prime subscription. It really helps a lot. And everybody checking on Necromancer. Make sure he's alright. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Bye-bye.